What if I told you that everything you learned about ancient history in school was incomplete? What if the greatest civilizations didn't just fall, they sank? Right now, beneath our oceans, there are entire cities, frozen in time. Streets where people once walked, temples where they prayed, homes where they lived and loved, all of it, just waiting in the darkness. Today, we're diving deep, literally, to explore Earth's most incredible submerged cities. Trust me, by the end of this video, you're gonna look at the ocean very differently. Let's go. The mystery and the science. Okay, so here's the thing that blows my mind. We've explored less than 5% of our oceans. 5%? That means 95% of what's down there is basically unknown. And every year, we're finding evidence that ancient civilizations might be hiding in that 95%. But how does an entire city just disappear underwater? Well, it's not as mysterious as you'd think. It's actually pretty terrifying when you understand it. Picture this. About 20,000 years ago, during the last ice age, sea levels were roughly 400 feet lower than they are today. That's like a 40-story building lower. Entire coastlines that are underwater now, back then, they were prime real estate. People built cities there. Then the ice melted. Over thousands of years, the ocean crept up and up, swallowing these coastal settlements whole. But that's not the only culprit. Sometimes it happened fast. Earthquakes, tsunamis, massive tectonic shifts that literally dragged land into the sea overnight. Imagine going to sleep in your city and waking up at the bottom of the ocean. And that brings us to some of the most fascinating discoveries of our time. Let me show you 3 submerged cities that are rewriting what we thought we knew about history. Yonaguni Monument, Japan. First stop, Yonaguni, Japan. And oh man, this one is controversial. Off the coast of Japan's Ryukyu Islands, a dive instructor discovered this massive underwater rock formation in 1986. And when I say massive, I mean we're talking structures that look like they were carved with laser precision. Flat terraces, right angles, geometric patterns. Now here's where it gets spicy. Some researchers, like marine geologist Masaki Kimura, believe this is a man-made monument from an ancient civilization, possibly 2,000 to 3,000 years old. That's still incredibly old. We're talking about a structure potentially older than many Roman ruins. But, and this is a big but, most mainstream geologists say it's natural. They argue that the sandstone in that area has natural bedding planes that fracture in these geometric patterns due to erosion, earthquakes, and tectonic activity over thousands of years. So who's right? Honestly, we don't know for sure. That's what makes it so fascinating. Nature can create incredible things, but so can humans. And the debate rages on. What I find wild is this. Even if it is natural, people definitely used it. We found what looked like carved animals, tool marks, and even what might be ancient roads nearby. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But the mystery? That's what keeps researchers coming back. Thonis-Heracleion, Egypt. Now let's talk about a city that we know was real, because ancient texts mentioned it all the time, but we couldn't find it for over 1,000 years. Enter Thonis-Heracleion. This was Egypt's most important port city before Alexandria was founded. The gateway to Egypt where trade ships from Greece and the Mediterranean would dock, where massive temples honored the gods, where wealth and culture flourished. Then by the 8th century AD, it had completely vanished beneath the waves. The whole city. Gone. Historians knew it existed because Greek writers mentioned it, but they had no idea where it went. Fast forward to 2000. French archaeologist Frank Gaudio and his team are scanning the seafloor off Egypt's coast when their equipment goes crazy. And what they found? Absolutely mind-blowing. 16-foot-tall statues of pharaohs, ancient ships, gold coins, jewelry, temples. An entire city perfectly preserved under sand and water. The crazy part? The city sank because it was built on the unstable sediment of the Nile Delta, basically soft ground. Earthquakes weakened the structures. Tsunamis battered it, and rising sea levels didn't help. Around 100 BC, massive geological events caused the ground to literally liquefy. The Mediterranean swallowed it whole. This discovery rewrote what we knew about ancient Egyptian trade and religion. and there's still so much down there waiting to be excavated. Pavlopetri, Greece. Alright, last stop on our underwater tour, and this one's my personal favorite, Pavlopetri, Greece. Discovered back in the 1960s by oceanographer Nick Fleming and properly surveyed in 1968, Pavlopetri is the oldest submerged city we've ever found, dating back over 5,000 years to the Bronze Age. But here's what makes it special. The preservation is insane. We're not just talking about a few ruins, we're talking streets, courtyards, buildings with multiple rooms, graves. We can literally see the entire urban layout of a Bronze Age city. Using sonar and underwater drones, researchers have created detailed maps showing exactly how people lived, where they worked, where kids played. It's like a time capsule of Bronze Age life. And the reason it's so well preserved? It was likely destroyed by an earthquake around 1000 BC and sank quickly, getting buried under sand that protected it from erosion for thousands of years. What blows my mind is how advanced their city planning was. These weren't primitive people living in mud huts. They had sophisticated urban design, complex buildings, trade networks. They were like us. Modern discoveries and the future. So here's where things get really exciting. The technology we have now is absolutely game-changing. We've got autonomous underwater vehicles that can scan massive areas of the ocean floor. Sonar so advanced it can create photorealistic 3D maps in pitch-black water. ROVs, remotely operated vehicles, that can dive deeper than any human and stay down for days. Just in the last few years, we've found potential sites off the coast of India, Cuba, even in the North Sea. There's evidence of an entire lost landscape called Doggerland that connected Britain to mainland Europe, with settlements, hunting grounds, whole ecosystems now underwater. But here's the thing. These sites are incredibly fragile. Every year, currents erode more stone. Every careless diver can damage artifacts that have survived thousands of years. Marine archaeologists are racing against time to document these places before they're lost forever. There are also huge ethical questions. Who owns these sites? Can we take artifacts, or should they stay where they are? How do we balance scientific discovery with preservation? You know what keeps me up at night? Wondering what else is down there. We found maybe a dozen major submerged cities, but scientists estimate there could be hundreds, maybe thousands more hiding beneath the waves. Ancient harbors, lost temples, entire civilizations we have no record of. These underwater cities teach us something important. Civilizations rise and fall. The planet changes. What's here today might be gone tomorrow, but evidence of human resilience? That endures, even underwater. So next time you're at the beach, looking out at the ocean, remember, you might be standing on what used to be someone's home, their temple, their marketplace, and somewhere out there, in the dark depths, their city is waiting. If you want to see more mysteries like this, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment and tell me, which submerged city fascinates you most? And if you want to support real marine archaeology, I've put some links in the description to organizations doing incredible work. Thanks for diving deep with me today. Until next time, stay curious.